All right. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm really kind of bored. Let's see if I can get the lighting correct. That might help a little bit. I'm kind of tired and lazy and I don't feel like doing anything, but you know, you girls that want to hear our story time and ask me for videos and everything, you know I'm going to give in to whatever you want. So I'm going to do this little video and try and tell you the story of the time that John Anglin got into my house 2 different times. Once when my dad was cleaning a gun, and the other time when my mom was cooking in the kitchen. Now when my dad was cleaning the gun, it was a .22 revolver. It had, he had the bullets out because he was cleaning it, sitting down. And I come out of my bedroom and I saw somebody and heard somebody come in the door. It was John Anglin. And he kind of went to the corner where you couldn't see him. He was on the porch. And then there was another doorway getting into the living room, and we were in the kitchen, or another little room there. I told my dad, somebody just came in, Dad. And he went to get up, and I told him, bring your gun. And he brought the gun. I think I told him to put bullets in it too. I can't remember. But we went to the door. John Anglin was doing this number. Peeking around the corner like that. And let me see if you can, did that come in? Peeking like that. So what happened was my dad had the gun with the cylinder open, and he was holding it in front of him, pointing like that. When we stepped out into this doorway and John Anglin standing right there saw us, he freaked out so bad he just tripped over his own feet and fell backwards onto the floor and started pushing backwards. And my dad took the gun and went like that and snapped the cylinder shut. And when he did, I saw the most terrified look I've ever seen on in my life on John Anglin's face. He was like, he just knew we were going to kill him. And, you know, yeah, I can believe that because he knew that's what he would have done if he was in that position. I can't believe these guys don't think that someday shoe may be on the other foot. And let me tell you something, John Anglin, I know you're out there and I know where you at. Maybe one of these days I'm going to show up from behind you with a gun, and when you turn around, I'm just going to try and scare you to death, you know? I mean, you're an old man now. You're going to drop dead from it. You and Clarence down there on the river. Anyway, after he got done being scared, I started feeling sorry for him, being the warm and tender guy that I am. So I kind of went like this, pointing to the door, which was over there. He looked at my hand like, he looked at the door. I'm imagining he was thinking of Frank Morris's signals and everything. And he jumped up and ran out the door the whole time, looking back behind him to see if we were going to shoot him in the back, I guess. And he ran down the street, running away, looking back, and the whole time, I mean, you watch this guy run, they tell you those guys were real coordinated. You know, Frank planned things out in a very coordinated manner, but physically, John Anglin was not a coordinated guy. He was running like, and I've seen kids in school do this, to learn how to run, they put one foot in front of the other one, and they fall on it. And then they get the other one up and they fall on it. Well, that's the way he ran. This guy had problems with his coordination. So what happened was, you know, he got out of sight down the alley there in a place where they tried to catch me before. I'm going to do a video on that too, because it happened around that same time. That was the end of that. The other story about when my mom was in there cooking in the kitchen, I was in the bedroom and I was laying in bed and I saw somebody go by. And I was thinking, well, my mom must have called a plumber or something to fix something. And I started thinking, I didn't know that guy. And when my parents would call somebody, it would usually be someone that we knew. So I got up. I said, I'm going to go in the kitchen and see what's going on. Because it had only been a few days before this when they pulled a knife on me and tried to cut my throat. And I think I told you that story in my book where I was laying in some cardboard asleep. If not, I'll tell it to you on a video. But anyway, I get up and I go into the kitchen, and as soon as I step in the kitchen, this is what I see. My mom standing at the sink with a frying pan full of hot grease, and John Anglin's behind her like this, and he's going. You can tell he's really nervous the way his hands are going. And there was a knife drawer right here, and I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but I felt like I needed to get over there and get a knife in case I needed to help my mom. And then to myself, I'm thinking, I don't even have a clue what to do with a knife, how to use it, how to hold it, or how to stab somebody with it. Never occurred to me you could cut them and do just as much damage. But anyway, I kept sneaking closer and closer because I was going to get to that knife drawer. And my mom turns around and goes, "Oh, you scared me. I didn't know you were there." She's holding this pan of grease like this, hot grease. It was boiling hot. And she goes, "What are you doing in my house?" And he's just standing there like this. It's like he's going to grab her. And she goes, "You best get out of my house or you're going to get this pan full of grease in your face." And at first I thought he was going to back off, but then he went right back in like he wasn't scared. And I'm like, I'd be scared of my mom. She had a pan full of hot grease because, boiling in oil is not going to be a fun thing to do, but he was willing to try it for a chance to get to murder somebody. Crazy John Anglin. One of these days, I'm going to sneak up behind you down there where you live. I know where you're at. And you're going to die from the fear of seeing me. But anyway, it looks like he's going to attack her, and I'm trying to figure out how I got to run over there, get to the knives, but I'll be in the path of the hot grease, so Mom may not throw it. I'm just not sure what the heck to do. All of a sudden, I hear my dad driving up. And she looks at John with a very straight face, and she goes, "Now that'll be my husband. And he's a deputy sheriff. And he carries a gun. And he knows how to use it." And when she said that, he went from terroristic murderer ready to grab her, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, ma'am, wrong house." He turns around and runs back out the front door. Like, I can't imagine how many times these guys have snuck in on somebody to kill them and figured, well, it's too dangerous, so what do we do to get out of here? "Sorry, ma'am, wrong house." And out they go. That's the end of those two stories. Did I mention that the 22 that my dad had, they ended up stealing it from him, and I'm pretty sure it's the one that they used in San Francisco when they murdered those kids and everything in the publicized Zodiac murders. There were a lot more than that, but the ones that were publicized, and he bragged about a 22 and Western cartridges. And the thing that got us kids about the cartridges was that the box, the printing on it was so beautiful that we, paid a lot of attention to it, and we'd go in there and play with it or whatever. And I'm thinking it did the same thing to Frank Morris, because he was into art and whatever. And that's why he bragged about those shells. But it's just amazing to me that the gun and the bullets that he used were probably the ones he stole from my dad out of his gun case. Because we used to leave our house open back then. Another lesson that I've told you before, I'm going to tell you again. Don't leave your doors unlocked ever. If you walk in carrying groceries, somebody can walk right in behind you. Next thing you know, they're in your house. They can do anything they want to you. And when they walk out and they're finished, they leave the door open. When the cops get there, they're going to go, "Well, there's no sign of a struggle, so she probably just left." Girls, protect yourselves, okay? And if you need help, call me. I'll come over there and protect you myself.